432 the drop at gmail.com, man. And let's surf the wave and talk about Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, man. Let's get the drop on the Utah data center.
At the northernmost edge of Utah, miles from anywhere, sits a vast no man's land. An unspoiled expanse in Box Elder County, which could soon be the site of one of the biggest data centers on the planet. It's ignited outrage across Utah.
We will continue to be shining a light on the corruption and insanity that is going on in this state.
The community concerned about their already scarce resources and furious about a lack of transparency in government.
It's not real information. And we sit here like it's okay.
Some career politicians have already been toppled, and all before a single piece of dirt has been moved.
So we're going to go straight west, and then we'll veer southwest.
We wanted to understand the debate over the proposal in Utah's Hansel Valley, so we met up with Dr. Robert Davies. A physicist and a professor at Utah State University, he's emerged as one of the leading critics of something called Project Stratos.
As proposed, this particular project would utterly transform this entire landscape.
The original proposal, approved with no public comment by a little-known state agency in May, would develop 3 chunks of land totaling 40,000 acres at the northern tip of the Great Salt Lake. That's the size of more than 2 Manhattans. After public outrage, project developers cut the plan in half, but Davies says the scope, up to 9 gigawatts, is still impossible even to fathom.
And that's going to use 9 billion watts of power. That's already more than twice as much electricity as the entire state of Utah uses. That's something on the order of 3 New York cities worth of energy flow.
Okay, Managa, so think about this, 9 gigawatts using of power. Now, we're supposed to think this is just powering the data center. Nice, vague way of blanketing the situation. Or is it powering something else? Are they pulling out or using 9 gigs, 9 giga, whatever? Let's get it back a little bit. Is this powering the super brain, right? And why is it in Utah? So I know they got these all over the place, but 40,000 acres is one of the biggest ones I've seen. And obviously, man, they playing chestnut checkers, my nigga. You feel me? They playing chestnut checkers. Why they coming to Judah with it, right? Right, Salt Lake, right? The Dead Sea, the Dawood Sea, the David Sea. Dead is D-A-U-D in the old Gallic Celtic. You know what I mean? So did they turn David to dead, D-E-A-D, from D-A-U-D, Dawood? We talk about the Great Salt Lake. You're talking about the, you're talking about the Sea of Galilee, man. You're talking about the so-called Dead Sea, David Sea, right? Full of buoyancy, full of that anion. And it's already being drained up, and they want to drain it more. And they want to put out how much power, and what is it really powering? Come on, man. Let's look at this from a dragonfly perspective in David's flame chamber.
Salt Lake. That's the size of more than 2 Manhattans. After public outrage, project developers cut the plan in half, but Davies says the scope, up to 9 gigawatts, is still impossible even to fathom.
And that's going to use 9 billion watts of power. That's already more than twice as much electricity as the entire state of Utah uses. That's something on the order of 3 New York cities worth of energy flow. That's the energy consumption rate of 40,000 Walmart supercenters, equivalent to 23 atomic bombs worth of energy every single day. At nighttime, we could be talking about 10 or 12 degrees of Fahrenheit temperature change across this whole area within this valley. So that's drying out a landscape that's already pretty dry.
Apple Maps thinks I'm standing in the Great Salt Lake. Clearly, I am not. The Great Salt Lake is in crisis. It's lost nearly 3/4 of its volume in just the past several decades.
Wow.
And that's what has people so concerned about this data center proposal, because any impact it has on the surrounding watershed could simply accelerate the collapse of a vital ecosystem.
mean, come on, cuz. Come on, cuz. Right? So what we're seeing is something that is dying, right? It's already being drained. Where's this water going? You know, is it going to the underground systems? You know what I'm saying? What's really popping off? And why would they want to drain it more and put out that much power, use that much power just for data? This is what got us, you know what I'm saying, pontificating. Just for data? Whose data? What data? And what's it really for?
Temperature change across this whole area within this valley. So that's drying out a landscape that's already pretty dry.
Apple Maps thinks I'm standing in the Great Salt Lake. Clearly, I am not. The Great Salt Lake is in crisis. It's lost nearly 3/4 of its volume in just the past several decades. And that's what has people so concerned about this data center proposal, because any impact it has on the surrounding watershed could simply accelerate the collapse of a vital ecosystem. The truth is, people just don't know what the environmental impact will be, with very little information presented to the public, despite its famous and outspoken frontman.
You're in the Shark Tank. We care if you can make money.
Investor Kevin O'Leary, best known from the reality show Shark Tank, is the data center's developer. He's vigorously defended the proposal on social media, and his team has released these renderings of modern buildings across the land. But still,
We actually have very few details because his organization has provided very few details.
so we asked. And O'Leary agreed to sit down with us to clear up what he calls misinformation.
We really screwed this up. We have not communicated what we do. I have no interest in causing an environmental disaster.
But you are, man. But you are. And you're going to ignore the information the same way that Fauci and them ignore the vaccine information. Managa, it's the same hijack playbook. Create the problem and then offer a solution. So y'all going to create some massive issue with these data centers, man. And then you're going to have some super solution that involves more captivity on the people, man. You're going to create an issue with these doggone vaccines and then try to come with a solution, Trump, and say, go from 75 to 11. When we know you're going to pack all 75 of that hit into 11 now and get super hits to these little kids, man. To adults, my niggas. They don't have no questions answered with 40,000 acres of a super Terminator project. And you know what they call it? Stargate. Which begs the question, is this a Stargate? Oh boy, and who are they letting through back to their own gods? I'm not saying they're creating a new god. I'm saying, are they summoning something? And already have some bio, body situation, you know what I mean? Some type of, machine, robotic, biosynthesis situation with somebody putting the mind so they can create something else, right? And do they know what that thing will choose? Do they know what that thing will do? And is it something new or is it something very ancient that they are bringing through the Stargate?
On my legacy, that's never going to happen. There's zero probability that's going to happen.
But when it comes to those burning questions, how the site will
He just said zero probability of anything bad happening. That sounds like a scary movie.
generate power, how much heat it'll give off, or water it'll use, he says he just doesn't know the answers. His engineers still figuring it all out.
What we're going to do to solve for this, because you're bringing up a valid problem, we have to give them the facts. We will bring plans out for a 1 gig facility and say, this is what the heat profile looks like. Here's the light, here's the noise, here's the water, here.
So they don't have no specs, and they're going to do it for 1 gig instead of a 9 gig, right? Now, we don't know if you multiply it times 9 to get your numbers, or if it's some type of exponential situation that happens once you get beyond a certain heat structure or power grid, yada, yada. Like, your 1 gig is not going to tell us what happens when you pump 9 gigs of energy or extrapolate 9 gigs of energy, right? We don't know if it's exponential. We don't know what. And they don't know what. And he don't know, and they don't know, and nobody know. Just like nobody know what's in the vaccines or what's going to happen to the people that got the vaccine 10 years from now. How that affects you in the future. Nobody got no future plans. All these chemtrails spraying. What does 10 years of this stuff we got to breathe in do to us, man? You trying to terraform the earth, or you trying to terraform us, right? Trying to turn us into non-naturals when we're already natural, right? What happens when you get all these spike proteins from the vaccine? Are you still natural, huh? And what does this energy generation, this generating of hijack energy, what is it feeding, man?
Here's all of it. And this is what it looks like. When we build this, you can come and kick the tires and extrapolate from this, including the issue you're trying to address.
The west piece is over there.
Of course, it's the absence of those details that's led to criticism from people like Professor Davies. But when he first raised his concerns in public, O'Leary lashed out.
Absolute crap.
Tell us what he said is
He
wrong.
just made that up. He has no idea. We haven't even submitted the proposal yet. He is full of poo-poo.
Wow, this is the guy with the plan, raising the money. Look at his eyes. Do you see life or do you see death? I'll wait. Look in his eyes, man. Do you see life or do you see evil, wickedness? Is he the guy to bring about their AI god or the Stargate for something ancient that they think's going to help them, right?
How could he know if he's never seen the plans? He's never seen the actual proposal of what we're doing with power. He has no idea.
Well, no. I think this gets to the laws of physics.
He doesn't have the baseline about what we're doing yet.
If you're so profitable, why do you sell a course? Well, you know what? Here you go.
Hijack City, hold on, I got you. I'm just saying, he ain't seen the plans, but you ain't got no plans. He ain't seen the plans, and you ain't got no plans. Huh, Hijack City? That's how it goes, man. I got you.
A lot of updates on the data centers.
Davies hasn't been O'Leary's only target.
Hi, hello, it's me, Gabby Finlayson. People don't want this, and they're being told, no, you are going to have it by an international, wealthy TV personality developer.
Gabby Finlayson and Jackie Morgan run Elevate Strategies, which works to elect Democrats in this deep red state.
This has massive implications both for our water, our air, our temperature.
They started posting videos critical of the lack of transparency with Stratos.
This is not an inevitable decision that has to go through. Like, we live here, we have a say too.
Not long after, O'Leary went on Fox Business and attacked them.
Who would want us to stop building our electrical grid? Which adversary would want that? There's only one. It's China. But wait, we found 2 cells inside of Utah. Elevate Strategies, also a cell operating inside of Utah. Gabby Finlayson. Gabby, what are you doing? And who's paying you? So these are proxies for the Chinese government's my argument.
So I guess the basic question is, are you agents of the Chinese government?
You know, there are questions that you don't expect to have to answer in your career, and this is definitely one of them. The answer is no, absolutely not. Because who else would be opposed to building data centers in the United States to support our national security, except for our biggest AI competitor, which is China? So therefore, everyone opposed to the data center is either a paid protester or they're being paid by the Chinese government.